Hello, beautiful friends. I am Jenny, and today I'm coming to you with a longer meditation on grief and the holidays or special occasions. I'm noticing that grief is coming up a lot over the last week or so as I'm walking around in the world. And I thought a longer meditation might be of value. So go ahead and have a seat. Notice if you can be in a space with your feet touching something, touching the ground or a cushion. It can help us to feel grounded if the soles of the feet are touching the floor, or if your feet don't quite touch the floor, a cushion. Make it work for you, and then imagine that your back is nice and long, so you can take deep inhales and exhales. That will help you to remain conscious in the meditation. And then when you feel like you're in a comfortable space, place where you can stay for a few minutes, go ahead and close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Some people like to have their eyes closed. Some like to have their eyes halfway closed. And some people are not comfortable closing their eyes. So you do what works for you. I do find for me that it's a little easier to focus with the eyes closed. So if you're new to meditation, you can play around with it and see what works for you. I think that if there's a lot going on in the space where you are, it can be particularly helpful to close the eyes because there can be so much stimulation. So do what works for you, and then take your attention to the center of your head, which is exactly where you might imagine it would be, in the center of the head. This is a place where we can rest our attention and be in a neutral space. It's very helpful to not be in judgment of yourself when you're meditating. Notice also that you have a grounding cord, an energetic connection to the earth. I enjoy imagining that my grounding cord goes all the way to the center of the earth. And you can imagine that that grounding cord is made out of anything. So whatever comes to mind, if you're a visual person, something specific may come to mind. And because the topic today is grief, it might be nice to have a big sturdy grounding cord, perhaps a tree trunk or a big solid chain or something like that. Just instantly have that. And then notice also that you have a space around you, which is often called an aura. It goes 2 or 3 feet, typically in each direction, including above and below. So it kind of looks like an egg. And for our meditation today, I'm going to suggest that you allow that grounding cord to get really wide at the top, wide enough to encompass your aura. So your aura is sitting on top of this grounding cord, and it's wide enough at the top to hold that space for you. And then take your attention back to the center of the head and to your breath. How are you doing today? What is coming up? Is the body comfortable? Is your to-do list getting in the way? Notice whatever is coming up. Say hello to it and then let it go. One way that I like to let things go is to let them move out through the grounding cord. I know clients and students who just imagine the distraction or the resistance disappearing. So let it go in whatever manner suits you at this moment. Take your attention back to the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose or the mouth. If you come across some big emotions, it's nice to exhale through the mouth. It can be helpful with transforming the emotion to exhale through the mouth. Notice what comes to mind when you think about grief. Without any judgment. Perhaps fear is coming up. Perhaps sadness is coming up. Perhaps fear of sadness is coming up. Just notice what's coming up without judgment, and notice whether or not you can let it go. Without any judgment. Taking your attention back to your breath. At holiday time and on important anniversaries, it is very easy to miss people who are no longer with us in their bodies. So when you think about that, notice if particular people come to mind. People that you may be missing. Maybe because they're not here in their bodies anymore, or maybe you're just not going to be able to see them. What would you say to your loved ones if they were with you? Allow that to be. Imagine a cord of energy between you and the person or people that you are missing. Let's start with one. Who comes up first? Imagine an energetic cord between the two of you and send that cord over to them, make a connection, and then send the emotion that you would like to share with them to them. Maybe you want to express how much you love them. You might share some of that love through that energetic cord. Notice what it's like to have a connection with the person that you are grieving. Breathing in and breathing out. And sitting in that emotion for a moment, if it is pleasing, if it is gentle, if it is soothing. Know that you can always make a connection with another person, even if they're not here with us in the body anymore. You can create an energetic connection. And then you can let that go and be back in your space, in your own energy. And notice if another person came to mind. And if so, you can do the same thing. You can think about what you would like to share with them. And create an energetic cord and share that emotion. Let it be nourishing for you. What would you like to share with them? What are you missing about them? What do you feel joyful about when you think about them? Perhaps about past holidays, or if it's an anniversary, perhaps you're remembering a particular event. Allow yourself to experience some joy as you remember what you're missing. Allow your space to fill up with some of that joy. What do you really love about that relationship? What do you still carry with you? Can you still carry that emotion into the holiday or into the anniversary? Notice where that emotion is in your body. the emotion that came up with the first couple of people. Where is it residing in your body? Is it in the heart? And how is it to sit with that? Is it in the gut? Is it in some other place in the body? It's going to be different for each of us, and it'll be different from day to day. Allow that to be okay, and allow yourself to experience whatever it is. Where is your grief at this moment? Imagine you can hold that grief in your hands. What does it look like? Does it have a color or a shape? Is it hot or cold? Allow it to be okay, whatever it is. Imagine you're giving it a hug. You might even give yourself a hug, taking each hand and holding the opposite arm. It's a very healing place to be, a very nourishing place to be. And notice next, what would you like your grief to look like? We're all in a different place with our grief. What would you like to do with it next? What do you wish it to look like next? Grief transforms over time. So where you are is different than where the rest of us are. And where you're going is different. So what would you like to imagine as your next step with the grief? Allow it to be whatever you need. And allow that grief that you're holding in your hands to begin to transform into whatever the next phase will be for you. Imagine that it may be gentle and perfect for you. As we play out our holiday traditions or traditions affiliated with particular anniversaries, the rituals can really stir up a lot of emotion. Imagine yourself with that emotion. Imagine yourself having the courage to sit in that emotion and let it be what it is. And let it also begin to transform as you are ready. And you are truly the only person that will know when you are ready, because we are each on our own journey. No one else has experienced the loss of the person or people that you're missing in the way that you have. And no one else experienced life with them as you did. Treasure all of that, honor all of that, and notice if you can begin to transform that into something that might be a little more gentle. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Take your attention back to the center of the head, and let's place our hands over the heart space. One hand resting on the body, the other hand resting on top of that hand. And let's take 10 breaths here silently. After your next exhalation, allow your hands to rest back in your lap. Notice how you're feeling now. If you haven't disconnected the cords with the people that you identify, go ahead and let those go. Allow yourself to sit in your space, surrounded by your own unique vibration of energy, knowing that you can reach out to those people and create a connection at any time. Call back all of your own unique vibration of energy that you've left here and there as you've experienced your grief here and there and everywhere. Perhaps you're only comfortable experiencing grief at home. But for many of us, we experience grief when we're out in the world. And imagine that you might have left some of your energy in the places where you were experiencing grief, perhaps where people were witnessing you and trying to help. Pull your own unique vibration of energy back into your space. Know that it serves you better than it serves anybody else. Even all the well-meaning souls who are trying to help out, they have a different vibration of energy. So when you can pull in your own unique vibration, it can be very healing, not only to you, but also to the people around you who may be grieving alongside you or may simply be trying to help you. Notice again that you have this energetic connection to the earth. And imagine that you can let that go and just create a new one. Perhaps it looks exactly like the last one, or perhaps it looks like something different now. Notice the space around you. Notice if it needs any last touch-ups before we come out of the meditation. And if you're getting a sense that it could use a little of this or a little of that, or a particular color, particular emotion or feeling, just bring that in, just instantly let it be a part of your space. And then when you're feeling satisfied with your space, go ahead and open your eyes, beginning to bring yourself back into more of a physical place. It's always nice to take your eyes to each corner of the room as a way to bring yourself back into your body. It's also nice to take the eyes and move them in a circle. There's so much healing to be had with eye movements. Go both directions. If you haven't ever done that, it might feel funny at first, but it's really powerful. And then I always like to take a little stretch and then also to bend over and touch the floor. Kind of wiggle around a little bit. Take a nice deep breath. Thank yourself for showing up for yourself. And I thank you for showing up and sharing this space with me. May you have a beautiful day. Namaste.